Oncology billing teams are currently struggling against an environment that is bottlenecking under immense pressure. Across all of healthcare, the friction is increasing. In 2024, initial claim denial rates hit 11.8% across the board. This graph shows the massive financial fallout of those denials. Hospital net revenue leakage from final denials and bad debt grew 25% in a single year, hitting $48 billion in 2025. You can see exactly what is driving the damage. Medicare Advantage plans generate initial and final denial rates that are more than double the rates seen in traditional Medicare. For oncology practices, the baseline is much worse. Practicing radiation oncologists report that commercial payers are now denying 30 to 40% of their submitted claims. But here is the critical detail. Those same physicians note that nearly 100% of those specific commercial denials are overturned on appeal. The initial denials are simply wrong. Practices are hemorrhaging revenue because fighting intentionally complex payer denials requires more resources than most clinics can spare. The friction starts long before a claim is even filed. Prior authorization has become the earliest and most severe friction point in the oncology revenue cycle. The average American physician now completes over 40 authorization requests per week, consuming about 12 hours of their time. In cancer care, the paperwork is particularly heavy. 97% of American Society of Clinical Oncology members categorize these specific documentation requirements as highly burdensome. This flowchart demonstrates how clinical hours are drained directly away from patient care and poured into administrative paperwork. To keep up with this specific bottleneck, nearly 64% of radiation oncologists had to hire additional staff last year. This manual friction carries an immediate penalty. The pure administrative cost to manage a single denied claim recently rose above $57. The cost goes beyond overhead. In more than half of cases requiring prior authorization, these bottlenecks delay life-saving cancer treatments by 5 days or longer. Manual prior authorization workflows directly jeopardize patient care timelines and erode practice operating margins. Most billing teams can learn a new medical specialty in a few months. Oncology requires managing an entirely distinct, highly scrutinized code set. A biller must know exactly how to match specific HCPCS J-codes for cancer drugs with a specific payer's formulary record. A denied routine medical claim might cost a few $100s, but a chemotherapy drug claim carries a 5- or 6-figure weight. If the drug code or modifier does not perfectly match the payer's expectation, the denial is immediate. This creates what practice managers call the J-code rework spiral. Experienced staff spend hours every month fixing waste modifier errors, pulling them off proactive billing, and trapping them in an endless cycle of reactive corrections. It is very difficult to catch up. A recent Medicare update alone introduced over 80 new billing code changes across service lines. Placing generalist billers into an oncology environment leads to consistent upstream errors and invisible revenue leaks that compound before the claim is ever submitted. Many practices solve this by keeping their billing teams strictly in-house, assuming physical presence equals control, but that structure often crumbles under slight pressure. Hiring an in-house medical billing specialist costs roughly $75,000 a year, factoring in salary, taxes, and benefits. Very few available candidates hold oncology-specific credentials. If they resign, replacing them penalizes your practice up to $30,000. With 90% of medical groups reporting higher overall operating costs this year, absorbing continuous training penalties and turnover hits is mathematically unsustainable. The feeling of control from an in-house team masks a reality of massive fixed costs, reactive daily workflows, and sudden revenue drops when an employee leaves. A growing number of oncology practices are bypassing the local hiring market entirely. Instead, they partner with specialized billing teams that integrate directly into the clinic's workflow. Remote, credentialed billers work natively inside your existing EMR system, whether Epic, Athena, or eClinicalWorks. There are no data exports and no screen share lag. This side-by-side comparison shows the cost efficiency. The $75,000 burden of an in-house employee drops to $20,700 annually for an outsourced seat. That lower cost secures higher competency. The specialist arrives with AAPC and AIMA certifications on day one, catching oncology errors early. These human specialists are supported by AI-augmented tools. that automatically balance workload queues to prevent backlogs and proactively flag potential modifier errors before the claim is ever submitted. Practices establish secure EMR access, map out workflow protocols, and complete team training within a strict 14-day onboarding window. This embedded model completely removes the structural risks of employment while elevating the technical accuracy and first-pass resolution rate of your most complex claims. If your practice is actively losing net revenue to Medicare Advantage denials, spending hours on J-code rework, or struggling to retain trained staff, you need to reconsider your operational setup. If you currently sustain a near-perfect clean claim rate using a deeply experienced, perfectly retained in-house team, you can safely maintain your current model. This matrix plots the trade-off. You exchange an in-house generalist in the high-cost, low-competency quadrant for system-embedded specialists in the low-cost, high-competency quadrant. Operations are protected under strict SOC Type 2 and HIPAA protocols with flexible month-to-month terms. To protect your margins in today's hostile payer landscape, smart oncology practices must stop paying for generalist errors, leverage specialized outsourcing, and seal your revenue leaks.